Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Got a great show in store for you guys today. Of course, we have Champs Corner, Mrs. Stephen Harris. We had a commit today. We had a decommit today. It's been a busy day in Gator Nation, as it is every day. The pulse of Gator Nation has had its ups and downs, but we're going to talk about the commit. We're going to talk about the decommit. We're going to talk about some potential commits in the future, and then Mr. Will Harris, new DB coach, some cool insight on him and some work that he's already putting in. But before we do any of that, of course, we got to introduce the co-host of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Harris with Champs Corner. Let's get it. I feel like we cannot have it. It's like
It is. No, it does. It juice up the moment. Hey, but listen, that instrumental you have playing when the countdown is coming on before everybody get in the room,
Sure.
that that's a dope instrumental, man.
So
Yeah.
it's
Look,
fun.
I almost had to get us a little high top verse like Wayne. You know I can rap.
Hey, if you want to rap us an intro, Mr. Stephen Harris, look, I mean, hey,
Look, I might have to drop us a verse, man. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want a verse for the high top show, man. I'll drop a verse on that thing.
that would be my dream. Look, I'm particular and picky about the music. I feel like setting the tone and the vibe pre-show is always a big deal. Guys give me a hard time usually on our precast on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll take about 5 minutes or so to find a song. This one lately's just been kind of it
Look,
works.
no, that's a dope beat, man.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I appreciate it. Well, Mr. Stephen Harris, welcome to the show. We got 260 people in here this morning already. Expect it to grow as we continue to go on. So be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. But look, man, I don't know how much you followed recruiting up until this point, but how you feeling, big guy? It's been a hell of a ride the last few.
Yeah, I've been following. It's been definitely one of the more interesting off seasons. New portal, recruits, NILs, a lot going on. So yeah, it's been very, very, very interesting. You know, we got off to a slow start. But I feel like we're gaining ground right now. Though we did lose a big commit. You know, most of us felt like he was probably out of the door. You know, I had high hopes. I made a tweet about them releasing the information earlier. I never wanted to delete a Twitter so fast, but it was all good. Once I saw us making moves with Gregory Smith, I kind of sensed the writings on the wall with him. You know, we can't overload the room, but we want the best talent. I think Smith is probably overlooked for what he can bring to the table. I love the kid. I just know what's inside of him from being around him and getting to coach him 2 years ago. So yeah, man, great size, great speed. He's an all-around athlete.
So you coached? Hold on, I don't know if people know that. I didn't know that. You coached. So you coached Mr. Gregory Smith.
He was quarterback. I used to call him 12 gauge. When he was playing quarterback for Carrollwood Day School. Then he went back home to play with his team again. So yeah, Greg's a great athlete, man. He got a lot of passion in him, a lot of desire. He's one of those relentless guys, one of those guys that won't give up on a play, and very smart, especially for to play the safety position for us. A guy that knows what the quarterback want to do with the ball on third downs, to be playing safety. If you guys go look at his highlight, man, the man got hands. He got great body control. He's just an overall athlete, man. It's stud. I love him.
So let's do this real quick. I want to kind of go back to the other screen, but this is Gregory Smith here. This is actually I'm fired up. This is Steve Harris brings a whole nother thing to this, and that just excites me, man. I'm so glad.
I wasn't gonna say a lot about him, but I know the kid. I always wanted to see him be a Gator. So hopefully, you know, pen still the ink gotta meet the paper. So
that's true. We don't know anything yet. He's in the crystal ball. That's kind of what we're getting. We're counting our chickens before they hatch.
It's gonna be some broken hearts on Wednesday. Trust me. somewhere, somehow, somebody gonna break a heart. That's just how it goes. So
let me show. I'll go over these stats, and then I want to go back. I got a few questions about Gregory Smith, and also some things that people may not know. So 6'4", 195, big stature there. On three has him as a 4-star. He has been climbing the ranks dramatically in this past year, and part of it is because he played quarterback, which we'll get into. But he has been crystal balled on 247 as alongside here as well on 3 to Florida. Now, we have been in talks with Gregory Smith now for a few weeks, for like about 2 weeks or so, which is when the Xavier Filsaime smoke started to arise. So it feels like the
Hmm.
staff was definitely having a backup plan, or at least already kind of in a sense moving on. But what people
That's for
don't know,
sure.
what you just may not know, what you just mentioned, is that he played quarterback. You called him 12 gigs. He played
Yeah,
safety this year, right? First time.
yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I
And
mean, he's played the position, but it's first time like going both ways full out like that.
okay, so just being fully committed and saying, "Hey, this is what I'm going to go after." Because I mean, I don't know, he may have not been as highly recruited as a quarterback, and then obviously they saw what he was able to do on the safety side. And what people may not know, which I learned when talking with Joe Hayden was recruited as a quarterback, then
Yeah,
transferred to
yeah,
wide receiver, then
yeah.
realized that there's this wide receiver room is
Facts.
stacked, and then transferred to ended up cornerback. So the reason
Yeah,
I also look, I'm not saying this kid's gonna be Joe Hayden, but the reason I bring these things up is that look, usually your most athletic kid on the football field starts at quarterback. That's how that works. And then
most
as
of the
they
time,
move up
yeah.
in high school, they start to find their spot just because that quarterback role, it's a whole other animal. Just because they put them there because high school is like, we're just trying to make this thing work. Just give the kid that can make it happen. But it may not be the best transition into to college, but the kid's just so athletic. It's like we'll find a home for him, and we're gonna make it
Yeah.
work.
Uh,
And that's where
ma-
he's starting to surge
yeah,
in the recruiting rankings.
but make no mistake, Greg can throw the ball.
We'll
Listen, the
call it
man
12
can.
gauge.
Yeah, he can throw the ball. So we got us a good prize, man. If he signs that ink, I mean signs that paper. So uh, he he's a hell of an athlete, man. Can run the ball. He's just an overall athlete. He catch. He does everything. And for his size and frame, and he's still growing into his body as far as muscle mass. Um, so we definitely got us one. I think he was like state runner up in long jump uh the sophomore year in high
Mm.
school. So yeah, the man's an athlete for real.
And we're going to talk about Will Harris, which obviously has a little bit of input on this recruiting as well. Just some background on him and some exciting things of what he's able to do here as well. But look, I was going to start off with Xavier Filsaime decommitting and then transition into Gregory Smith, but I don't think we need to go any further. We knew we knew it was going to happen. We did drop from the fifth class to the 10th class, and we're going to do a calculator in just a few moments with the addition. Again, we're all this calculator. Steve, this is gonna be your first time on the calculator show. It's like we like to
Yeah.
kind of count our millionaire money before we get it, right? That's how the calculator works. So a few
Right.
names that are rocking and rolling that we're gonna get into in just a moment. But back to again, we'll kind of wrap up with Gregory Smith here. This is exciting, man. Again, a lot of noise has been coming after him. I did not realize again you coached him, so that's really cool to hear. Did he play? So did he play safety with you guys as well?
No, he was at straight quarterback during that time.
Okay. So it's more than
Yeah.
this past year. Like I said,
Yeah,
he's been
but
really
I mean, as far as the position, but we get to use him on defense and stuff, as far as looks and stuff. So he's familiar. He knows football. He's been at every position,
sure.
But his focus was at quarterback at that time.
6'4", man, 195. That's a big kid. That's no
Hmm.
that's no slouch. And some people are, again, this is you'll start to learn kind of just how fan bases. They'll take a look at his offers and they'll take a look at certain things. Oh, this kid's trash, right? Because the offers are only Vanderbilt, Virginia, Howard.
Eh, yeah,
But
they slowly mistaken.
exactly, because again, he's being compared to other safeties that have been playing this position for a very long time. So yes, he may not have the same amount of awards just the data to support his ability and what he's able to do, but that
Right.
isn't always the full writing on the wall. And I think we saw today. I don't know if you guys were able to see a lot of updated recruiting rankings came out. LJ McCray, DJ Lagway both climbed up in the rankings.
Yeah.
Running back Caden Daniels surpassed Chauncey Bowens, who decommitted him to
Yeah. I saw
Georgia.
that.
So a lot of interesting things
Yeah.
happening with the staff and recruiting players and being able to evaluate talent. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah. They sleeping on the running back as well, man.
Caden
That's a
Daniels,
big
or
guy, man. Yeah, yeah. Our running back that moved up in the rankings. He can move. That's a
he's a
big frame
beast.
that can move. Yeah, oh yeah.
Hella stat, hella stat, hella stat. So look, I was gonna call him Gregory Smith's gonna be my Joe Hayden of this class if he commits. Just when I'm thinking about that again, the conversation I had with Joe and just what he told me about how he transitioned and how he got there, and it's like, hey, we know we recruited
Yeah,
you as a quarterback, Joe, but you ain't gonna play because he had the
yeah.
room with Tim Tebow and Cam, and he's like, yeah, I'm not playing.
It's a lot of jewels in Tampa, man. That go under the radar right now, just because of the things they're asked to do. But Tampa got a lot of talent in the area.
So that is interesting too, that people don't realize that, again, when you're in a place like Tampa, which has IMG, and it's like a fertile ground of talent, you sometimes can't put everybody at DB. It's like, I like to put kind of compare more to baseball and shortstop. Fortunately with football, you can kind of transition to more positions, right? If you play
Hmm.
shortstop, you can go to second base and third base typically, sometimes outfield, but not really in baseball. So those
Yeah.
guys may not always be in the best position in that high school just because there's an athlete there that's better than them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not good. They're just not there yet.
On any team, Gregory Smith is easily your best player on your team. You want the ball in his hand. That's why he was playing quarterback. He can run the ball and throw the ball. So you got to score points. So
Sure.
you can try to Travis. You can't Travis Hunter everybody. You know what I mean, the whole
Yeah.
time. But his mentality, just his mindset, how he goes about, how he prepares, and just the type of kid he is. His focus and determination, and to prove people wrong, and to go out there and give it all. He really loves the game of football. So I see it in him, seen it in him since he was a kid. I always been in his ear rooting for him. When I've seen he got on our radar, man, you don't know how happy I was.
Well, maybe Stephen Harris, if he does commit, maybe we could use that connection and bring him on the show.
Yeah, no, great kid, man, great kid, love him to death.
I love it. Let's talk about another potential here. Looking forward. So Jaden Ball just decommitted here moments ago from
Yeah.
Arkansas. Somebody that we have been attacking very heavily for this recruiting class. 6',
Hmm.
214, another big time running back, has been committed to Arkansas for a while. We sent him an offer way back in the middle of June when Chauncey decommitted. So this is somebody that's been on our radar for a very long time. He visited, and then obviously now we're 48 hours away. Decommits. Bama is in the run for this as well too. I don't believe they have a
Yeah.
running back committed to the class yet, which is very interesting for Bama. So
Yeah. I mean, well, I know we can definitely use somebody else in the stable. I'm looking forward to seeing what Webb's going to do this year. But we need somebody else too that we're grooming up, that's going to get some touches. We have some young guys, but you can always bring in another running back. I looked at his film; he's a great kid as well, man. Heck of an athlete. Can move his feet. So if we get him, it'll be great. That'll be a great flip for us. But I just don't know how well we're gonna do as far as flipping anybody. If anybody, I want Smith. I want the wide.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
Jeremiah. Give me Jeremiah Smith. If we gonna flip somebody, give me Jeremiah Smith. But if we could get him, it's great. I think we have more pressing needs right now, but that'll move us up in the class rankings, of course. But for me, it's about the players we get matched with what we have and the quality of the players. Because we need people that can come in and can contribute. Because we got to win. We don't have 1 to 2 years to wait for them to develop all these guys with the pressure we have right now, or we'll be trying to hold them all together again next year. So we need guys that's going to be able to come in and contribute now. And I think we have some of those in this class, and then the rest of it building through the portal. But anybody else we can get along the way would definitely be great. But I would caution people to worry about where we end as far as the class we get versus the quality. And that for quality you got to look.
So look, let's break it down because I think the quality of the class is a big one to look at, the where we finish up in ranking, which some people aren't going to like this, but we'll get into that in just a moment. But Jaden Ball, though, I
Of
think it's a good
course.
point because with the running back room, like you said, like Jaden Ball more likely is going to sit unless he has a really breakout year. Alabama not having a running back commit, although we know kind of what they stack up, he's going to be in the same scenario more than likely, kind of having to work through the long
Right.
grass to find his opportunity to play, whether it is at Alabama or at Florida. And it kind of just
Right.
figures out, hey, where do you want to sit behind? Where do you want to grow? Because with Montrell Johnson, Trayon Webb to stepping up, Caden Daniels, I think he's going to be a big time hit. Cam Carroll
Yeah.
should be coming back, who transferred last year. Don't know if you saw him play in the spring game, but my goodness,
Yeah.
he's going to bring a spark to that
That's why I
offense as
say,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff they're looking. It's not like we're discouraging anybody. This is the stuff they're looking at. But if you know what you bring to the table, you go anywhere you want. If they got offers for you, obviously they feel like you bring something to the table, and you can go on there, prove yourself, and take it. I want people that can come take it. I know people talk a lot about the PWO, but I wrote him a message, man, that said, "Come in there and take somebody's position." You know what I mean? I don't care if you prefer walk on, they came to talk to you, they want you on the team, man, go take somebody's position. I don't care who they is. Go outwork somebody. You know what I mean? That's the mindset you got to come in with. So that's all I want people with that mindset. So
Now, you mentioned the class because the class has fallen to 10, which has people up in arms and in rage. And look, if you kind of just are following with the transfer portal, it's trust me, I want a top five class with the rest of us. But if you look at 2 years ago, Texas A&M and their best class of all time, 8 of those guys have now left. Look at Georgia's class of last year. I think 6 of those guys are now into the transfer portal. It's not the same way as it once was, and I'm not trying to excuse or make up for us losing players, right? Because Xavier Filsaime is a big one, in my opinion, who would come in and more than likely be an impact player. But if you're able to counter it with a couple of transfer portals and then somebody like a Gregory Smith who is going under the radar from what we just spoke about,
yeah.
it's not going to be the end of the world. And look, a lot of quality is
I
coming
mean,
in.
yeah.
Good.
And you gotta go with real need. We had some safeties, young guys that showed us some great characteristics last year.
Sure.
And the guys that we were looking for to come in know this. Some people may not trying to say a man might be scared of competition, but some people know competition is stiff. And if it's an easier route for you to go somewhere else, then some people take the easy road out. But it wasn't gonna be no just come in and it's gonna be the keys gonna be handed to you. For what we saw on paper, yeah, I like it, but you still got to put it together. You still got to know football. You got to be smart. We said we got to know if you can read film. We got to know what you can do. As far as breaking down what the offense is trying to do. So there's a lot more that goes into it. And he had young guys to compete with. So it be up in the air sometimes until that day where people sign. But everybody has their own decisions to make. But I want people that want to come compete. So don't be scared of the competition at Florida. Come in and try to take something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, I mean, it's tough to watch somebody go, but it kind of like my thing is let's move on. Let's keep moving. Hey, guys, we've got over 500 people in here. Be sure to smash the like, show some love, subscribe if you guys are new, hanging out here with Mr. Stephen Harris. So let's have a great show. We still have a lot to go over. We're going to do a little bit of calculator work like we always like to do. But let's talk really quick about Mr. Will Harris. So shout out to Zach Goodall. Did a little bit of investigating. He wrote a little article about Will Harris interviewing a previous player that was drafted with the Bears. I need to get the name, so we're not just pulling out my ass here. Let me find this really quick. Spoke with Kyler Gordon, cornerback for the Bears. That's where he's currently at. So here's what he had to say about Mr. Will Harris. He said he went from assisting defensive back coach to starting DB coach, kind of working his way up from the first time I met him to when he was taking over the whole room. Like I just felt like he was a player coach for me. Felt like our room thought we had then grew tremendously with him in it. Him being a piece of why our DB room was honestly so tight. We talk to this day about being together. We did what we did there, how much we miss it. You know, he keeps up with all the guys in our class that we had together. But I just describe him as such a player's coach. You know, he knows how to be a hard ass if he needs to, but he also knows how to understand you and hear you out and make things make sense. So shout out to Zach Goodall for reaching out, getting this interview, because I think a lot of us want to know, like, hey, who are we getting? Who's this guy that we're bringing in? Something else I want to mention here that one of our guys tweeted out is, look, missed out on Xavier Filsaime. We're not done yet, though. We landed cornerback today in Triquest Bridges, which we're going to head into in just a moment. But he is also reaching out to San Diego State safety transfer Marcus Ratcliffe, who has already committed to UCLA. Doesn't matter. Didn't phase Will Harris. They're looking on bringing him onto campus. And this young man, Marcus Ratcliffe, was a true freshman last year with 30 solo tackles and an interception at San Diego State. True freshman, 6'3", 210.
He was out there racking them up.
Right? So all of a sudden now, the safety room that we're freaking out about Xavier Filsaime, all of a sudden we get Triquest, who we're going to talk about in just a moment, who's looking like he's going to be part of the safety room. Jordan Castell, right? Bryce Thornton, I believe, was the other one this year, kind of up and coming on top of
Right.
Gregory Smith, who we were just mentioning as well. Zay
Right.
Minty is another name that we're going to be talking about. He's looking to play
Right.
safety cornerback. So all of a sudden, the room that we're all panicking about, let's relax.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's gonna be we're gonna fill up the cupboard. And guys are gonna go compete. We rotate heavy. We want to rotate more, from what I'm hearing. So guys that definitely have the opportunity to go out there and play. So I think it's going to be great. But that piece that the guy wrote up about the coach, that player, that was very descriptive. And so for somebody to describe something like that, to me, someone like that to me, speaks volumes of the type of person that he is, and just the infectious energy I just could tell he possessed when he's in a room. Um, you know. So that's going to go far with the group, guys. Just having that type of energy on the sideline, matched with Armstrong, to have that on the back end and to get that unit solidified, because you gotta be able to communicate on that back end, and you got to trust your guys. So the more you get to know each other, the more you're around each other, the better they'll play together. So hopefully it bring that same energy over here. It looks like it so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I loved hearing about the culture that he put together at Washington, which had a very good defense, a very good secondary defense. And he talks about how it worked up. And when you hear about something like that culture where they stick together, where he still talks to those guys to this day. And that room, I believe,
Yeah.
had three or four, I believe, NFL draft picks from this room that he's describing there. So big time stuff. But let's transition into Triquest Bridges, who Mr. Stephen Harris and myself are also in the works of possibly having on the show. So stay tuned for that if we're able to make that work. But he committed early this morning. First thing bright and early. People
Hmm.
thought it was going to pop last night. He was crystal balled last night. Great article from Nick Delatorre, basically saying, look, I like talking to Coach and Coach Armstrong. I see what they're trying to do with the defense and how they're trying to change it around. There's some pieces here, but they are young. I know it'd be a good thing having some of the room with them to educate them and lead them. They just need a
Yes.
big brother. That's a good note to have them all and take a look at. And they're looking to have him play safety as well. Although he did play cornerback, played a little bit of a safety, then transitioned to cornerback. I think he was recruited as a safety when coming in and transition again. That back there, that happens quite often. So
Hmm.
nobody unfamiliar. And something I was also thinking about kind of watching these guys and the guys we picked up thus far, the offensive tackle, the defensive lineman, Joey Slackman, and now Bridges, it seems more precise. Last year, I know we got RJ Moten, the safety, never saw him. We got a couple of linebackers, Nunnery, Taraja Mitchell, saw them a little bit, but it felt more of a depth add than hey, we need you to come and be a factor, right? Like
Yeah.
a Graham Mertz was. That was like, hey, you're going to be the
Right.
guy unless something crazy happens. But the rest of the pieces, Cam Jackson, definitely like, hey, you're going to be the guy. But the rest of
Right.
it just was fillers. These seem to be more like, hey, you're going to be the guy. And then,
I definitely feel like the guys that we got, we went after harder and got them. We know we needed these different positions, and we went and got the guys that we wanted, and they're all high character guys, guys that are developed, and guys that took a lot of snaps. So we got good footage on those guys. And I believe, Will Coach Harris, he like he like them big guys, man.
yeah.
He like guys with size and speed, rangy guys. And Mr. Bridges, don't make me butcher the man name. So, when I meet you, brother, just get me right. I got you. I won't forget it again. But yeah, he can. He's a big fast guy. He just got size on him.
6'3" as well.
So
6'3", 6'4".
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
lengthy safety
I'm
room coming in right now.
looking forward to seeing him put his hat and hands on some people out there. So
I love it. Look, I think it's a great addition to the team as well. A nice, I mean, we had some momentum early this morning that was quickly deflated with the Xavier Phil-Sime news that really shut things down pretty quickly. But all in all, things are still moving in the right direction. Let's not completely panic just yet. What is setting up to be this Wednesday, National Signing Day, one of the more
big
electric
day.
signing days that we've seen probably in a very long time. A lot of unknown question marks. Could see some big time flips. We just had a big time flip in Dylan Raiola, flipping from Georgia to
Yeah,
Nebraska.
but you still got guys jumping in the portal today. So
It's not nonstop, man. There's a 5-star cornerback from USC that's in the portal as well. running back from
Yeah.
Ohio State, just decommitted, committed to Miami. Miami, Ohio State seems to be on fire.
it's,
That
it's
means
it's
Jeremiah Smith.
everywhere. Yeah.
It is everywhere
I'm glad the heat was off us for a while. We had Florida State
for a
blowing
short
up.
time. Short time.
Yeah.
Short time. Boys and girls, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you are brand new. Let's dive into the calculator. We gotta
Yeah.
kind of do a little bit of calculation here. So this, just so you guys know, it shows that 276. It is adding Bridges, Brandon Crenshaw, and Joey Slackman to the overall recruiting class. So I'm going to remove them so we can get a true gauge of the class. Okay. That 292 number is where we need to focus on to get back to that top 5 class. Because look, although we kind of just stated that, hey, let's not get too caught up in the numbers are so important. It gives you a gauge of where you're at. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do Gregory Smith first because he is crystal ball to us. We've got to feel good about him. So add him to the mix, puts us to 274. Jaden Ball, the other one. Look, this one I think it's going to be up in the air, but for now, just how things are. Yeah, feeling pretty good. 277. And then the last one, which this one we won't know till January. So, but this is someone that we've been eyeing the whole time. They are teammates with LJ McCray. I always do this. I think it's Xavier. Like, is it like this? I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know why I always do the X. Puts that 284. So still a little bit behind that 292 number. Let me go back to the overall recruiting where that would put us at 284. So 284 would get us right behind, probably into the 6th spot. So, and again, that's if Amaris and Adarius and those guys stick, which right now seem to be possibly flipping. So National Sign Day is going to be a wild one. Look, what I would really love to see, honestly, is we get a surprise. We get somebody. Look, Jeremiah Smith's obviously always been a name. I don't think that's going to happen. But somebody like that, right, where it's like, didn't see that coming, would be refreshing. Would be very refreshing. Don't think it's going to happen, but would love a surprise. Would love a good surprise.
Yeah. I mean, we got a top ranked quarterback. I would say my number one overall, and then you got the wide receiver. Why not pair up?
I mean this right here, these three right here though. This is if you go look, if we remember that Tebow Brandon Spikes class, that's what that class looked like, right? It had the big 3 pieces, and then the rest of it obviously is impactful, but really these in my opinion, these 3 names right here are name-changing guys of the program. And I think Xavier would have been a part of that as well, but these 3 are huge in my opinion, alongside Amir Jackson as well. These two guys are a question marks right now.
Yeah.
So
no, we're definitely doing well with the guys we got. I mean, it's hard to keep them all. Just with the way everything's going, everybody classes are moving a little bit. But hopefully we finish in the top 10 stably, and we get forward and move into the spring, man, and get these guys on campus and get going. Some of these guys are definitely leaving early. Probably be here right after signing day. So, it'd be great to get them on campus.
I think a big thing too that I mentioned you last night is this young man right here, DJ Lagway. I mean, this guy, top 10 nationally, number 3. He's the number 1 quarterback in my opinion. I think he's behind. Let's see who he's behind. I don't remember. Okay, so he's behind Julian Sain and Dylan Raiola, which, I mean, he dominated both these guys in his stats this year. So it's just haters at this point.
What's supposed to be going? He's about to flip, right?
Who's that?
The quarterback.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
He already did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already happened. It happened today. Which is the third time now he's flipped. He flipped from Ohio State to Georgia to Nebraska. So that's
so right now we got the best quarterback in the class in the SEC.
Well, they've got Julian Sain at Bama. So second, technically, I guess. But yes, the best quarterback in the SEC. And I think this guy's a game-changing quarterback. And this is something I said too. Like, look, this guy has been bought into this process this entire time to this coach and to the staff and what they're trying to do. And we love DJ Lagway. I think we can all agree that this guy is an absolute stud. And if he looks at this like I'm ready to rock and roll, I think a lot of us should be able to buy into that. But yeah, I agree. Let's settle down for a bit. If this young man is putting his entire
anybody has
career,
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
If
We
if
fans, we don't have a
anybody
choice, right? He does, and he
if
still chooses
anybody
him.
got options, DJ got options. So and his parents seem like pretty smart people. I'm sure they weighed it well, and I'm riding with them.
I love it. Taylor Holland says $5, says can't wait to meet you again, Steven. And is Will Harris showing he wants your Sauce Gardner type build so far? And if Minty comes, does he start? I think that's a question for you, Mr. Steven Harris. Thank you for the $5.
Hey, it was definitely great to meet you, man. I don't know if who starts. You got to come compete. I mean, not giving away no starting positions at the University of Florida. You got to come in and compete. You got to earn it. And it's gonna be hard because everybody else out there should be competing. At least that's my hope. so,
Sure.
yeah, but they definitely a game changer. If he comes and put the work in, and it's not what you see on the film. It's the other stuff. You guys get to see them run and hit and stuff like that. You got to come and learn the playbook, and learn how to put yourself in the right position. That part of the game goes up. So he comes to do those things. He definitely has a chance to compete with the best of them. I love the kid. But I just want him to know you got to come to work. Come take it, man. Come take it. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Castell, that's his job to lose at the moment with what he showed last year as a freshman, and you expect him to get better. And again, with Triquest Bridges coming in, yeah, I don't think he's going to be the shoe-in start. But again,
We want to be the
he's a
best team.
quarterback too, so he could be playing both. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, Stephen, when are you going to let the people know that you're taking over as defensive line coach? Because we're waiting to hear.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
not.
they've already hired you, and I was just wondering if you're going to
Yeah,
do you want to break
yeah.
the news on the
Sorry,
show,
guys.
or are we going to wait?
I would have told y'all a long time ago the way y'all be acting on Twitter.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
goodness.
I'd have told you a long time ago. But y- you know, I tell you what though, we do have some guys that are not named the coach at that position that do the teaching of the technique and behind the scene things. Those guys do a great job, and I believe some of the players that are there now believe in the guys we have in those assistant roles. And so whoever the D line coach that gets named is gonna walk in the door with some guys that are ready to work for him already. So um, I believe those guys that are on the staff right now make the job a little bit easier.
For sure. And what's the last thing? Oh, we've almost 600 people in here again. Be sure to smash the like button, boys and girls, and subscribe. We will be having, I don't know if we're going to do one long live show on Wednesday, but there's going to be a lot of guys committee. We're going to try to be hopping around. So I'm looking to get Connor Clark on the show probably sometime during the middle of the day. Not for our late night show. He's got things to do, but during the middle of the day. So you guys make sure the bell's turned on and be prepared for Wednesday. I expect it to be a busy one.
Very eventful.
Very eventful on all things. I mean, we're going to be trying to follow everybody and where they're signing, even guys like for other schools, just because it is going to be a blast to watch and to follow and be a part of it. National Signing Day is becoming pretty eventful. It's taking over the bowls. I mean, the bowl games. I mean, who even cares about those things anymore? The transfer portal and off season has been fun. Chad Varnador says X Trolls Texas still signs with Florida. Could you imagine?
Look, look.
Could you
Hey,
imagine?
X, yeah, man, you gonna get 1,000 apologies, kid. Look, that's it. They not giving you no slack, boy. They not giving you no slack.
Ah,
But
I
much
would, it would,
love to you, man. Much love to you. You know, you got to do what you got to do. You only get this chance once in a lifetime. So make the decision that's best for you, man, and stick with it. And just hope you're doing the right thing. But it's funny.
yeah, we'll see. Austin says, is Willie Corrin going to be the new offensive coordinator? Any info? Look, that name's been tossed around a lot. I've also heard a few other names. Again, these are things that are being kept close to the chest. So
Yeah.
that is the Liberties offensive coordinator, and I think they play Oregon in the bowl game. So I think if they are, they're going to keep it close. Like I said, I think until the bigger bowl games are played, and probably towards more of the January is when we'll see more coaching changes. If I had to guess, so
Yeah.
no, the non-hire of the D line coach definitely a head scratcher. That is something that I think people are kind of like, what's going on? Um, it is strange, but like you just said, there is guys teaching, technique. And look, right now, I mean, the only thing that D line coach will be able to do is help recruit maybe a player or two that isn't committed, and also possibly reel in a guy or two from the transfer portal. But we've landed two a JUCO
I mean,
and a transfer
yeah.
without a D line coach because they can't speak to these kids anyways right now, right?
No,
The
but
coaches can't.
and then no, but then from Austin's background, he's coached some defensive line in his in his history. So and he's the coordinator, so he knows what he's looking for. So obviously the defensive line coach is probably won't come in to be able to say, hey, I want this guy, I want that. Armstrong knows the type of guys he wants. And I like what he's going for. He's going for big, fast, and strong. um,
Sure.
everybody he's getting is 6'3" or above and strong and fast. So um, I like what he's doing, the pieces that he's been able to put together without a defensive line coach. If you're doing this without a defensive line coach, that means you have a clear vision and the message is coming across to those guys clearly. They're looking at depth chart. They're saying where they're gonna fill in at, and they know that their body style or the type of play that they play fits his system, and he's been able to show them that clearly. So
Yeah, I think that's a big point of again, like if he can sell the D line, here's what we're going to do. Here's the type of coaches that I'm looking at. Here's who I've spoken to. We haven't finalized anything, but here's the game plan. Like you said, I think he should be able to sell the vision enough. If like that one kid, I don't know if you saw the comment, the
yeah,
JUCO. So kind of let me ask you about that before we go. Just
no,
people kind of lost it. I'm like, I get it. Like we're all kind of thinking the same thing that kid said, and it's like we're over. I mean, a little bit of an overreaction to take
yeah,
what he like. Look, is your all in decision all going to be on who the defensive line coach is? There's a part of that for sure, but
yeah,
Cam Jackson recommitted once 2 days later after
yeah. I
Coach
mean,
Chaos got let go.
I wouldn't I don't want to try to bash a reporter, but I don't know if that was the full context of the conversation just for how it was written. He might have mentioned that, but we you never know. Florida could have pulled out and just not gonna say nothing. And he just gave his side of what he was saying. Besides, they don't have a coach anyway. He could have said something like that, and it gets taken for click. I don't want to call everything clickbait, but you just never know because of the context of how it was written and highlighted to me. Um,
It
I
was
just
look to
think
be
it's
fair
more.
in defense of the reporter because I'm like we're not here to bashing these guys. They're
I don't
just
know
doing
who.
their job.
I don't remember exactly who it was, so I can't.
It was Corey Bender, and I don't know the guy. I
Okay.
mean, he's not a
Sorry,
Gator fan,
Corey.
but
Yeah,
he's just
hey, I just call it how I see it.
he put it in a forum, so it wasn't like he wrote it as an article. But I think it's a good point,
Right.
right? It was
That's why I
we
said
got
it.
a piece of
Yeah.
the conversation, and what people also don't realize is that the other half of the conversation, a lot of the times the coaches will say, "Hey, this isn't going to work out." Like a Kendall Jackson, right? Like, "Hey, this isn't going to work out," but the
Yeah.
school's never going to come out and say, "Hey, we didn't want this kid anymore." It's just
No, why?
yeah,
You know how much defending of yourself that you would do during this process. You don't have time to come out and defend yourself against none of the stuff that's being said. And then as a recruit, you don't want to say too much to where you gotta answer too much because you're trying to get to other schools. So some things that just fly by the radar, but people pick up little pieces and.
run with it.
Everybody got a job to do. That's all.
Well, look, when it's been quiet and it just feels like nothing really good news is coming out, any kind of news.
We don't have a D line coach, so
It
if
wasn't
it
wrong.
sound like it, if it sound like it, hey,
He,
but yeah,
he wasn't wrong. Boys and girls, be sure again to smash the like button. Mr. Stephen Harris,
shout
tell
out
them where
to
they can
Mr.
find you,
Bender.
boss, so they can. What's that?
I said shout out to Mr. Bender.
Oh yes,
So,
that's cool. Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
I mean, like he's not sweating it. Again, I wasn't
yeah,
really
I'm always just call stuff how I see it.
for sure. Tell them where they can find you, man, so they keep up with you while you're not on the
um,
show.
yeah, I'm on X at Famo Gang 365. That's FAMOGANG 365. Uh, Instagram Stephen Harris 93 Gator and Facebook just Stephen Harris.
I love it. Well, Mr. Stephen Harris, pleasure as always, my friend. Go Gators.
Go
Look,
Gators.
we may have to have you on, outside of our normal schedule routine if anything really big pops.
Hey, I'm always available, man. We get my man Taquise, Tarquise, Mr.
Yes.
Bridges. Yeah, we get Mr. Bridges set up, man.
Yeah. Well, look, he
Yeah,
wants to
one
do it
time
live, so
always.
we're gonna talk about going to Gainesville next week if we can make that work. So that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, man.
Yep.
You be good. You have a good night, and we're about to close it down here. So I appreciate you, boss.
Go
Go
Gators,
Gators.
boss.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Boys and girls, again, we just hit 19,000 subs the other day, so keep the trainer moving on the way to 20,000. I want to hit it by the end of the year. Didn't think it was possible, but now we're underneath that thousand points threshold. I gotta believe. got to be a believer that it's possible. So if you guys help show some love, subscribe, help us get there. Much appreciated. Again, smash that like button. We're like 20 away from 200 likes before the show ends. That would be fantastic. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Tomorrow, we'll see if it's loud. I think it's going to be in the eerie silence tomorrow. Maybe a lot of decommits and a lot of portal graphics. But Wednesday is going to be the big day. Wednesday, get your waters, get your koozies, get relaxed, stay ready to rock wherever you're at. Keep the bell turned on. We're going to be busy. We're going to be ready and do the best that we can. Do the best that we can to cover it. So you guys be good. I love you. Like and subscribe. Go Gators. Until Wednesday. Let's have a good one, boys.